Yo, what up, people? This is me, DJ M.E.D, aka DJ Make 'Em Dance, and right now you are watching Country Fan Mail Podcast.
What's up, everybody? What's going on, y'all? It's your man, Fat.
How's it going, everybody? This is Gordon Paul, and you're tapped in.
Straight back to the Country Fan Mail Podcast.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Clutadon, Country Fan Mail Podcast, and I am joined with my beautiful, amazing, she's so fine, co-host.
Hey, fan makers, it's your girl Pisces.
Yes, and we are here with another dope episode, and really excited for this interview. For one, because it's been something I feel like has been in the making for a while, regardless if he knows or not. And he's if y'all been a fan of not just Country Fan Mail but Black Wall Music LLC, he has been a reoccurring face on here so many different times, has contributed to the platform so many different times, and I'm really glad to finally bring him to the stage.
And I'm so excited to be a part of it. Like, yay, me!
It's gonna be super dope. I want to give big introduction to one of the big homies. I would say businessman. I would say soon to be doctor. We're gonna get into that though.
Hello.
It's a PhD. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna get into that. Amazing DJ, dancer, leader in all different aspects of the world. I mean, so many different things I could say, but without that further being said, DJ M.E.D, welcome to the show, bro.
Pew, 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 pew.
Man, man, I don't really know how to respond to that. That's a whole lot, and it's crazy because you never realize what you're viewed as until people give you that title, put that label on you in a negative or positive way. So it's always encouraging to hear those with positive affirmations.
Already, man. I told you, like I said, this has been something that when you hit me back, you were like, "Yo, I'm ready for it." Like I got hyped. Like I really was. Like, all right, this is you know what I'm saying? Because I really do appreciate everything that what I'm saying. You've really went out of your way to contribute into Country Fan Mail, Black Wall Music, even before Black Wall Music started. Those conversations and the messages about music and shit like that. Like that was the reason why we're here. But without getting too deep.
Yo, that just brought me back to that one. Like, make this better man. I'm sorry. Black men make me so proud.
Yeah, shout out to us. Shout out to blackness. Yeah. But without further ado, let's get to that first question. That classic first KFM question, man. What was the first song that you listened to when you woke up this morning?
Oh man. So I knew that you were going to ask that question. So I was real intentional about what song it was. And I actually ended up having to go to the grocery store. So I just the radio pick. And I forgot what the first song was, but it was on for 5 seconds and I just turned it immediately.
For sure.
Yeah, it just wasn't worth it. But no, it ended up being Michael Jackson Rock My World. And so that put me in a great vibe for the day.
If there was
that's
a
the
sign, it had to be Michael. There had to be a sign.
Michael definitely gonna start. He gonna start the day off right every single time. So something that you said, which I would love to get into. You know what I'm saying? Because being a DJ, and it's really dope because I know you before you were a DJ, and I really I remember when you first was yo, I think I'm gonna start do this DJ stuff, and you did it, you doing it. It's so dope, you know what I'm saying, really seeing it. And it was a lot of inspiration for me to, you know what I'm saying, to do this. And but you were you get in the car, you hear that song, you just immediately turn it. As a DJ, do you force yourself to listen to music just to see if it's go check out Cookie Kawaii. She's another dope artist who's positive and who likes, the New Jersey club scene.
If I back it up, is it fat enough? Right, recently featured on the U.S. Open.
It's the next generation now.
The U.S. Open.
The U.S.
You know what I'm saying?
Open.
The big U.S. Open.
Did that just happen?
Yes and no. I think it depends on what you're trying to do it for. So if you're doing it for a business thing, right? And you're trying to make sure that you're up on the latest music and trying to be aware of what's happening around and being aware of your surroundings. But if it's just for my own, I just feel listening to music, it's yeah. If I'm not vibing, it's off.
I love that. I love that question, babe. I be saying this all the time. Like, I curate a playlist to my own taste. I do not take requests because I'm not a motherfucking DJ.
Yeah, literally, it's just like that one person that be trying to get the DJ's attention at the booth. He trying to like, hey, can you play this song?
No.
Play this song. Oh man.
Yeah. That's a whole
Oh,
conversation.
I
I'm
do.
sure you
Yeah,
have a
I
question about it
do.
later.
I do,
But that's a
man.
whole
But so I want to rewind this, and I want to kind of go back to podcasting cliche, interview cliche type shit, and I want to ask them because there's some things that I know, but there's a lot that I don't, and I want to kind of get back into like early Casey, early, what I'm saying, and this is wherever you want to tap into, wherever you want to start. But I just kind of want to start like in the time that you really kind of started falling in love with music and really even falling in love with hip hop.
Yeah. I mean, I think I fell in love with music probably just at like a very young age. I think the first CD I bought was like Big Willie style. That's the first CD I got to buy. Yeah. Um, and yeah, just from there. And I would probably say before I fell in love with like hip hop, I had a real big love for like R&B, but I grew up in the 90s, right? So we had like those R&B boy band type groups that just were just like powerful singers and had like those power ballads, right? Which isn't something that you really get a whole lot of now. But that's initially like when I first fell in love with music. And then like I grew up in church. And so the church that I went to was like real big into like the music and make sure that they had like really good music. So that just, that like furthered my love for music to the point to where like I was even in the church band for a little bit. Played like a little bit of drums. I did band in high school for a little bit. And I would say in high school, is where I like really fell in love with hip hop.
Right.
There were songs from the 90s that like I liked and like really loved in from hip hop, but like that 2000 to like 2006, 7 period, that's when like I really fell in love with
This
hip-hop.
was, you was in Maryland, right, around the time?
Yeah, I was in born and raised in Maryland.
Okay,
born and raised in
So that was one thing I wasn't sure about. I know you have you Haitian by background, but I wasn't sure, saying if you were born. I don't know why. I was just something that I had in the back of my mind. Like I have no idea actually. Maybe he was born in Haiti, but I wasn't sure.
Nah. No, both my parents are Haitian. They met over here in Maryland, and then some years later I popped out. So
For sure. Shout out to Maryland, man. I miss it out there. Yeah, it's get busy out there in Maryland.
Yeah.
Yeah. How was it being raised by Haitian parents though? Like, that's something I feel like we can't fathom.
There's all these memes on the internet, and so I'm like, no, but for real, what happened, guys?
Man, I can't speak for every Haitian experience, but I can speak for mine. And I'm gonna try and keep it as light as possible.
For sure.
It was a time for sure.
Yeah.
It was a time for sure. There wasn't a whole lot of like play around. It was you were expected to be in the house. If not, there were some things that happened to you. I ain't gonna incriminate nobody. But I got love for my for how I was raised. But yeah, it was not for the faint of heart.
For sure.
That's all I say. It's not for the faint of heart.
I mean, I have one side of looking at it because I haven't parented any children, so I can only look at it from the child's aspect. So a lot of times I be leaning on Pisces because she's been a child and been a mother or is a mother. So it's like I always be wondering, like, saying certain things like there's just certain things that all Black mamas say. There's just those monikers.
Yeah, it's so scary when it comes out your mouth too. It's like
I wonder if that transcends like
Oh my god. And then you can't really falter. You gotta ride it through. We
Fact.
don't have McDonald's money. We have food at home.
That yeah, yeah, yeah. We she was my mother was quick to make her own burger with all the peppers and onions in it. Yeah, but as a kid, I wasn't for it. I wasn't for it. I wanted a regular cheeseburger. I wanted that. Um, but hey, um, it 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 yeah.
How do you feel like that's kind of shaped, like, what I'm saying, your, because I mean, one thing I've always known about you is that, you're a hard worker, you're gonna show up, you're gonna do what needs to be done. And even if you're not in the spotlight, you're always finding a way to lead from the front. And that's something that I'm saying, something else that I noticed. So like, do you feel like the way that you came up is a test to that, or is that something that maybe you learned later on?
Oh man, I definitely think I got my work ethic from my mother. She she worked really hard, man. She was holding down two jobs at one point. Had her own business while still going to work like late overnight at the post office some nights just to make sure that we were good. Never knew what it was like to not have the lights come on. Never knew what it was like to like not have food on the table. So like I'm super grateful for that. And yeah, man, if between her like work ethic and regardless of what's going on, just like pushing forward, and then growing up in church and just learning how to serve, that's probably made me the biggest reason for who I am today. Like just who I am is like as a person. Not perfect at all. Not perfect at all. I definitely fall short. And I've definitely made some mistakes, but it's a big influence on who I am.
Yeah. I feel like the older I get, the more retrospect that I realize, there's, you always, you learn and understand that your upbringing and what your parents did and what that you know that it affects you and it's going to affect you in your life as you get older, but you never really start to realize it until you really get older, until you're almost at the age that they were. And you just like, I think Fonte said it. He said, by the time you realize your dad was right, you got a son thinking that you're wrong. And it just like because it's just, it's kind of how that life cycle goes. And
The real check-in is when you have that child that is, like your age. Like my son's just about the age that I was when I had him. So now he's starting to regurgitate all that shit that I was saying for the last 18 years, 19 years. And when he checks you, like, well, you told me you were gonna. What did he say? You told me you were gonna call me back the other day, and you didn't. So now you gotta talk to me because I'm bored.
yeah.
Like it's just like if you've been hearing for 18 years, be a man of integrity, say what you're gonna do what you're gonna say, then it comes full circle when your kid starts checking you on the shit. It's like, oh wow, you really were listening.
Yeah.
For sure. I can remember having a conversation with my father. I was in high school. I think it was like my senior year. I either was getting ready to graduate or I just like graduated. And we were talking about something. And he had said something out and I just shook my head and just looked out the window. And he was like, you probably think I don't know nothing right now. Because that's the same thing I thought when I was your age about my father. I was like, yep. But, so to bring it back to, what you were just saying, it comes, like you said, it comes full circle at some point.
It's crazy. It's crazy how it happens, man. And, and speaking of full circle, as we're having this conversation, I'm trying to kind of figure out how to lead into the next thing. I wasn't sure if you even wanted to go down this road, but I'm going to do it anyways because you didn't say we couldn't. So let's talk about Crump. We got to talk about dance. Because
Sure.
this is this is where we met.
So were you DJing? When did you start DJing?
That happened.
That happened at the same time as Crump.
Oh, nah.
No.
I mean, because
I
I
do.
don't know nothing about nothing. I'm just all over the place.
Oh, you good. You good. You good. Nah, by that point, my jersey was already in the rafters.
Shout out Thought
It
Life.
was just right. So yeah, we can talk about
Oh
Crump.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
fine.
yeah. So yeah, back to Crump. So yeah, like I said, that's where I met Casey, and I think me and Casey met for the first time. This was like maybe between 07 and 09 is when we met.
All that is. I'm going to be honest. All that is a
All
blur.
that is a blur.
It is.
So don't ask me to narrow down a
Oh
year.
nah, for sure.
Don't-
It definitely all comes together, and the reason why I say it all kind of comes together because like there's other things that you might have even forgot about, but
So
like
this was like during high school.
no, so by the time this was actually like right after high school.
Okay.
Well, there was like there was stuff that was going like right after high school, and like and because I was in the military, and like there was some other stuff that like he didn't realize. Like he baptized my brother at a sanctuary event. I don't even know if you remember that, but yeah, and
you reminded me a couple of years ago. Yeah, that I did.
yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, so it's like but anyway, just kind of going full circle with it. Tell me kind of how you say your jersey's in the rafters now. You know what I'm saying? Being like this generation of Crump, there's not too many of us that's still doing it. You know how Rec is. 1 year he hates it, 1 year he's back in doing it. So it's like, how do you feel right now, kind of being on the outside looking in at the game?
Oh man. I feel like the the game has changed so much from whenever I was involved in it, not just as like a growth and just like skill thing. Things are just so different from just like a politics perspective. Um, I would have to say it's probably for the better. Um, it's definitely different from what I grew up in, as far as like Crump is concerned. Um, and yeah, man, I see a lot of people doing things in Crump that like I'm just super proud of. And I who's like Rec Judge down there in
Shout out
Texas
to
doing his thing. Um, you got Proof out here is doing Crump music, got Crump albums. Um,
yeah,
yeah,
for sure. I mean, there's
it's
a long list. Like there's a whole bunch of people,
yeah,
especially from that generation.
yeah. But to see like where the game is at now, just kind of looking at it's dope to see just like some of the dope new dancers come out. I don't know anybody's names, but like if I catch a clip, I'm just like, wow. And then like of course there's times where it's just like I see something, I'm like, oh, that's cool, but then you have like those big like moments where it's just like, wow, that was
Yep.
crazy. Um, so it's dope to see the game like evolved as it has. But yeah, my jersey's in the rafters, man. I'm
For
good.
sure. I feel you, man. I feel you. And I didn't have anywhere near as extensive as a Crump career as you did, what I'm saying, as far as like the impact that I feel like shout out impact, the impact that you had with everything. And but I also feel similar, like as far as my jerseys in the rafters, but it's like Shay asked me the other day, Pisces asked me the other day, do you miss Crump? And I was like, it might have even been today. And I was like, I mean, I was actually I told her the truth. I was like, actually, how I go to sleep at night sometimes is I imagine myself in a Crump battle, but like killing it though, like killing off, and it's just like I and then I wake up and it's 4 a.m. and it's just like I start the day over again. But it's like, but but do I miss Crump? I don't know. I can't say I do because I would like to just go and have fun. And I ain't got time to be trying to politic when people be like, because every time, like, I remember the last time I crept in Dallas and I would just go out there and have fun, and somebody like put me to the side trying to give me like critique, and I was like, I didn't ask you for critique, like, no disrespect, but nigga, I'm just out here dancing, like, you know what I'm saying, like, and it's just like you also don't know how long I've been doing this. If I wanted to get better, either it was gonna happen or I just didn't put in the right effort. Like, I need you to stop.
Yeah. For sure.
It's different, man. But I you know, to add to what you're saying, you know, I feel like the reach of Crump, you know, for once, there's still some people out there like I didn't even know people were still doing it. And every time they say that, I just blow their mind a little bit. I just send them some EBS footage. I just send them some, you know, I just send them, and then or I'd be like, you know, also one of the dopest Crump is doing is traveling and dancing right beside Beyonce. And he wouldn't have got on that platform if it wasn't for Crump.
People to say that, especially after like all of the dance shows that got really
They
big.
thought it was a fad, though. That's the thing about it. They thought it was a fad.
I mean, I like to I don't know. I guess it's always been such a big deal.
But you're from Cali. That's you know, you're from the Mecca. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and that's that. I think that was also I added. I was like, if I dance again, like, and I really like it as something I really want to do, it'll be down in LA. If I pulled up, like, happen to pull up to a session type shit, I would love to do that one time in life. But if I don't, I won't be upset.
Yeah. There was a point where like I knew I got it to like hang it up for me. There was an event in Virginia that Miho came down to. It was like one of the early sanctuary events. As a matter of fact, I think it was when Sector 7 came out. And they ended up battling ESK. Yeah. Shout out Light for sure. I remember just like labbing once, and Miho had like walked by and like poured in. He was like, I was like, okay, cool. I'm good. Yeah. Right. And then like many years later, I think it was like one of the last events that like I had really traveled to. It was the Fitted Talk, where
in Boston,
Tight Eyes had battled. That wasn't in Boston. It was in Rhode Island.
Oh, okay.
Tight Eyes had battled Havoc, and then I rode up there. It was me, Rush, Monster Rush, and forgive me, I cannot remember his name, but he was from Baltimore. I cannot remember his name. So if you see this, my apologies. But anyway, we rode out there, and I was terrible the entire weekend. I was straight trash. But I did something, and Tyler was like right next to me. He was like, "Ooh!" I was like, "Okay, cool. I hang the jersey up. I'm retired. I'm good. I don't need to do nothing else. I got the creators. I'm good.
That's
crazy. I got their acknowledgement, so I'm good. I can hang it up. I'm out.
That's dope though. Like, nah, man. I feel that like those moments are defining. You know what I'm saying? Like I never quite got that. Like I never quite got the like I never actually got to dance in front of Tight Eyes, but I got to hang. Were you with us the night that we were riding around DC and Virginia with like it was me, Cade, Tight Eyes, Rich, ER, shout out shout out ER, recipes ER, Solo, Kid Solo, the original Kid Solo. Like we went down to DC and everything.
I remember.
So I remember this like so I'm geeked, right? So I was like, yo, we here like it's Tight Eyes or whatever. He was just sitting over there in the corner hugging his damn pillow in the corner of the restaurant. We was like, what the hell's wrong with this dude? And Kay was like, yo, I'm gonna ask him about his shot. I'm gonna ask him about him getting shot. We was like, yo, don't ask this dude about Oh my god, yo, shout out to Barricade. But I feel like that was probably the highlight of my Crump career. That had nothing to do with dancing. I think that was actually the night that ESK started. That was the night ESK started,
So
and Rush got put on ESK, or maybe those. I don't know if those are two different nights, but that was definitely the night that Rush got put on at I-5.
yeah, yeah. So I was at the church and we were setting it up. So I never got to ride down in DC with y'all, but we were one of the ones that were setting it up. And Rush, that's when Rush got put on Street Kingdom, and then
Okay,
like a couple of months later, that's when they had the ESK tryouts.
Got you. Okay, I think that was where there was some confusion there actually, because there was like, nah, that's not the night ESK. He was the first member of ESK. Anyways, we ain't gonna get into all that. All right, I remember that. Good times, good times. And it's crazy, like I said, being on the outside looking in, and kind of segueing into music, because with Crump, like, I mean, I was listening to Baptize, Spillage Village, and Earth Gang, Jid. But yeah, they got that song Baptized, and like I was listening to it, and like I just like immediately was like, damn, I want to dance so bad. But it's like the only thing I can think to want to do is Crump.
Were you thinking like my back would hurt if I did it?
I was like, if I chest pop too hard, it might not pop back in.
No, I like her, bro.
The only thing I think, and I'd be like every time I see those videos, I'd be like, ooh, they need a good chiropractor.
Oh yeah, years of that shit will have you fucked. Like, make sure y'all use y'all's insurance. So y'all got jobs.
Next time, baby, when you grab my back, I'm gonna ask you if you was having a Crump session in your dreams,
and that's completely fine. Like, but what I was saying is that, like, when you hear certain music, it just, it makes you just want to dance. And honestly, the first music that I was crumping to wasn't even really Crump music, because for one, there was only a very select spray of rider. There was J Slot. I mean, no, it was not J Slot. What was it? J Squad, and then you might have had some early Buckmouth, some early Rocksmith, but like it was a lot. But you had other things, like you had Dipset, you had, damn, my eyes burning. My bad. I'm not crying, I promise.
I mean, it's a touching moment.
It is a touching moment.
Trip down memory lane is very engaging.
Yeah,
but
yeah. Literally.
I guess like what I'm trying to kind of bring full circle, like, is being a DJ now, like, tell me kind of how that love for music, like, how do you feel being able to make the crowd, make them dance? I mean, literally, how do you feel being able to do that shit? Because it must be really powerful for real.
Yeah. Oh man, to kind of see that moment happen, it's crazy, because like, and I say this anytime somebody asks me about DJing, but that you created a memory for somebody, right? Whether or not they'll talk about it like the next day, or they'll talk about it like 10 years from now. One story I always love to tell is I was DJing down in Baltimore, and we're getting ready to wrap up. So like, I'm playing like music that's like chill, so that people can like go ahead and like leave
that
out.
Vibe, yeah.
So this group walks in, and you can see this girl. She has on her cap and gown, like she's about to graduate, right? Or she's celebrating her completion of her degree, and like I switched it up and threw on "Moment for Life" for Nicki Minaj, by Nicki Minaj, right? And so everybody starts taking their phones out. She starts rapping the whole song, and it's like, that like in that moment, that's going to stay with her forever. That's going to stay with the people that were there with her forever. So, and with the way the phones are now, it's always going to be like in either her Snapchat memories, her Instagram's story memories, or like her Facebook memories, right? And so,
that's dope.
To kind of create that moment for somebody, to me, it's just, that's like the height. That's the height of DJing for me.
That is so dope. Like, celebrating people and helping people celebrate. I'm so genuinely envious right now. Like, that's a really dope thing to be able to curate and orchestrate. I
feel like being a DJ is such a selfless,
like a little puppeteer, like, dance, motherfuckers.
I like that shit though, because it's really like, I love the what was the when the DJs, they would like have like a it would be like the lead up to that Little John it'd be like 5 shots, and it goes up, and then they change that shit to something completely different. Everybody be like, "What the fuck?" But it's you completely control that emotion. It is fun, but it's also like it's a selfless thing because I feel like even when that's kind of why I asked you the question about music that you don't like, because it's like I don't listen to the radio. Like I don't listen to the radio because I can't. Like last time I was listening to the radio regularly, all I kept hearing was that goddamn Lotto and Mariah Carey, like whatever that song, and I was just like, don't do it. And I like, but anyway, my point of saying is that I can't imagine them being some songs where it's just like it's a banger, it's a song of the summer, but you hate it.
Has there been a song of the summer that I hated? Maybe like a pop record that they consider to be like song of the summer, but nothing
from us.
hip hop or like R&B related.
What's it
Nothing from us.
Nothing from us.
with this TikTok craze when those songs go wild? I know people are requesting them. I know people were requesting that fucking Margarita song all summer.
Yeah. So you do your best to try and keep up with it.
Yeah.
I mean, TikTok probably the best way to keep up with the trends, and so you're looking for different ways to like try and find that song, whether or not it's on like YouTube, Apple Music, or wherever you're doing your best to try and find that song because he was like, you spilled the milk.
I get this shit crazy, man. Hey man, I'm proud of you. What you mean? Yeah, I'm really proud of you, man. You keep a lot of shit going, man. Like being a husband, doing your podcast, working full time, school. Like you doing that shit, bro. I appreciate you saying that, man. Sometimes I'll be forgetting, man. But shit, man, appreciate you, man. High five.
I don't want to catch COVID.
All right, man. I'm gonna leave you be. All right, man. I'll let you. Damn, that motherfucker always be reminding me, man. Life really ain't that bad. Hey, nigga, you eat my sandwich?
Hey, play that one song.
Yeah, I'm trying to. Yeah.
All right, bro.
Yeah. And like the little bit of a clip that you be hearing from some shit, I'd be like, I had no idea that it was that one song where it's like, I have no idea what song that comes from. You don't know that thing where it'd be like,
I have no idea what you said.
I don't know, but I know.
y'all gonna figure it out later.
When I found out the song for the Black Girl Follow Train, I was like, I don't know if I want to be attached to this, but I still did it.
When you hear the rest of the words, you like my voice? Yeah, I'm gonna stop. But so kind of like let's go into the technical piece of like the DJing, because like I've been messing around. Like I'll be doing my mess around with the mashups and stuff like that, and it's fun. However, to get it as seamless as it really needs to be for it to like literally sound like it was recorded like that, like DJs do, I don't think I've ever done it. Like I don't think there's not been one thing that I listened to that I can't be like, oh, heard that. Like it just it throws me out, but like I don't get that with yours. Like I mean, I listened to this whole mix. Shout out, actually, let's talk about the mix. This man right here did the dopest. Thank you, 50th year hip hop mix.
Don't worry, the link's gonna pop up.
Yeah, we're gonna make sure that we put that link right there because I want to clap that up, man. Yeah. So kind of tell me about that technical piece of it. Like, how long did it take you? Because that mix was like what, an hour and a half, right?
Yeah. So let's talk about the whole process.
Yeah. I'm curious, man.
Yeah. So originally I had just came up with the concept to do like, 50 years of like hip hop mix. And I was like trying to come up with ways of like how I'm going to do it. I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to feature different regions. So I'm going to feature New York, and then I'm going to go take it down to Philly. And then I'm going to take it down to like North Carolina or the Carolinas. Then I'm taking it to Florida, then ATL, trying to figure out like the feature. And I still may do it. I'm not sure yet. but that's originally like how it started. But once I sat down and really tried to like put it together, for me, it just wasn't. It didn't mean as much. It wasn't as meaningful, right? So then I was like, all right, when did hip hop become like a thing for me? Like, when did I really fall in love with hip hop? And it became to like that high school range where like now you're not just like listening to stuff. Stuff is starting to like make sense, and now you're starting to be able to like take away stuff and be able to connect with stuff, and songs and different artists on different levels. And so it took me back to that age, and yeah, from there it was like, okay, how do I now that I know like where I'm at, okay, how do I put this puzzle together?
Yeah.
And so for me, yeah, man, it probably took me about 2 or 3 days just to figure out what song like I even wanted to like start with. And then to kind of like tell a story. When I created that Instagram post about you have like Jay-Z's words in the background where he's talking about creating an album. He's like, whenever you're trying to sequence an album, you want to be able to like tell a story to where it has like that big climax, and then you want to ease the people out. That's how I depicted, or like how I wanted this mix to be depicted. So I tried my best to tell a story, and share with the people what it was like being me growing up, what I was going through at the time, things that like I was looking for, who I wanted to be, who I wanted to become, who I was. Because there's parts in the mix where it's just like, I was watching your listening on Twitch, and there was a moment in the mix where you're like, damn, Casey, this is all the stuff that I used to listen to when I was going through something, and it was like all back to back to back,
to back, bro. I loved it.
Yeah, and so it was literally like me trying to go through those different sorts of sections in my life at that time, to really get people a peek at who I was, and hopefully people will be able to appreciate and understand the story.
So I liked it a lot as well. I mean, like the nice thing about like that kind of curation is that all the songs mean different things. Some of them I never heard before, like we're just from different time periods. but nonetheless, like as you're listening, it's just like that's the dopest thing about the 50 years of hip hop. It looks different for everybody.
Yeah,
for sure. And you talked just about like the technical side of it. As far as when you say the technical side, did you mean just like the mixing of it? Like, what did you mean?
I mean, as far as like the mixing of it, without like
seamlessness,
like
the transitions into the next.
Like kind of how was how was that?
Yeah, so when it came to, first let me say this: the first DJ that I ever talked to about DJing, he said the first thing that you need to do is learn how to mix and learn how to blend songs. Going from one song to the next song, learn how to transition. And so that when I got my like first set of DJ equipment, that was the first thing I did. I was literally just in my room for like hours, just boom, 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 boom. Okay, what about this? What about this? What about this? And so when it came to telling the story and trying to make it all make sense, after I had finally like picked all the songs, it probably took me, I'll put it in hours, probably took me about a total of 8 hours altogether to finally, one, to practice, and then figure out all the songs, and then also just to like get the final recording. Yeah. And even with the final recording, I felt like I wasn't perfect. Yeah. But I also was like, if this is me, I'm not perfect. So let me just go ahead and put out this imperfect mix.
I like that.
Because like I'm not a perfect person.
For sure. It's a level of vulnerability, you know what I'm saying, putting out something like that you put together, that you chef up and stuff. And you know, regardless of if it's taken well, regardless if people even seem to even have seen it at all, sometimes it's kind of like it's a level of vulnerability being a content creator and putting that stuff out there. And and like I said, being a DJ too, it's like that one thing goes wrong, or it's probably not the same as it was like when you actually had real disc and shit, or doing shit like that. But if something goes wrong, and it's kind of like Dave Chappelle, don't bump against until don't bump against the table, or this record might skip. But it's like, it's like everybody gonna turn and look at the DJ. You know what I'm saying? Like, like the one thing I remember in school was, as soon as the music stopped, what you say? No DJ. No DJ. And you made your own music. You just keep. No.
I have never seen that. These are the things this is why I wish I had a camera that followed us all the time.
Oh, you wouldn't see this anymore. I mean, that was, old times. But anyway. But yeah, man. One thing it's kind of bringing everything full circle. One thing I want to say is, like, over the years, I've said it before, but like, I really, really want you to understand, like, you really have inspired me in a lot of ways. And, seeing how you maneuver through things, seeing how you've accomplished things, establishing your LLC early, he
speaks very highly of you.
For sure. Like I, in a real way, because it's like, regardless of, and that's how I feel about, a lot of my homies, my bros. It's like, regardless if we talk all the time, regardless if we're the closest or whatnot, there's always, like, I'm always paying attention. I'm always gonna, try to figure out what's going on, or know what's happening in the big scheme of things. But I'm always gonna be rooting and making and really rooting for y'all, because I feel like y'all was the ones that was rooting for me, especially when I really, really, especially you, literally, like, in interview number 2. You know what I'm saying? You were on, saying this whole shebang.
Yeah.
And
so I have a question, Mr. PhD candidate.
Oh, wow.
Like you said that.
I understand that you're studying for a PhD in education.
Higher education administration.
Administration. You want to be the principal.
A little bit more.
The superintendent.
So something like that. Something like that.
Yeah, tell. What are your aspirations? Like, what are you gonna do with it? And what are you doing something currently in education right now?
Right now I work in higher education. I've been doing that for a little over 5 years now. Yeah, man. It's weird because if you had asked me, let's say 10 years ago, when I had just probably started to go back and get my associate's degree, if you had asked me 10 years ago, like, you going for your doctorate, I'd have laughed. I'd have laughed at you. I'm like, man, I'm not going past my associates. But I've just been fortunate enough to be in a space to where I can further my education and really try and contribute to, like, my community, on like the local level, but also just as a whole, aspirations. I originally wanted to get my master's so that I could, like, run for the school board, but I started to work in, like, higher ed, and I just wanted to be able to start to do more. And so I felt like part of that was getting my PhD. I think it's only like 3% of doctors or 3% of the people who have PhDs happen to be Black. So I definitely wanted to try and not necessarily become a part of that group, but I do not consider myself somebody who's like super intelligent or somebody considers himself like an elite type person. Um, I'm a regular Joe Smo,
Right.
man.
Right.
I'm a regular Joe Smo, and I just want to be able to show people that like it's cliche, but like if I can do it, you can do it, sort of thing. But also just to be able to be like to advocate for people.
There's so much representation in that. Also, just like
Yeah.
the locks, the whole black male administrator. Like, there's so much representation in that.
We got to see more like us.
Yeah, like, come on now.
Yeah.
I just saw they suspended a kid at a school in Texas for wearing locks to school. Like,
after they changed the law.
There has to be that representation. There has to be the doctoral candidate with the locks.
Until they see it, they're not gonna start to realize like, oh, so when they have locks doesn't mean that they're retarded. Oh, like this to whatever the fuck that these crazy mindsets that they have on certain things, when it's like it just doesn't make any sense. But like I said, the representation is amazing, and you
get all of your roses. Like
for real, for sure, man. Like I know it's a process, but I know it ain't nothing short of gonna be completed and man, like I said, we rooting for you, man. Like
Absolutely.
I said, we rooting for you on every aspect, man. And everything with DJing. If y'all are in the greater DMV area, I'm gonna just stop right there, and I'm gonna let my homie go ahead and plug in himself, and where they can catch you spinning, bro.
Oh man. Currently, I'm not really spending anywhere. Just focused on school and my dog. To be honest, I got a dog a couple of months ago.
Yeah, cute, man. Cute.
Yeah, that's my guy right there. He's asleep right now. But yeah, man. Feel free to follow me, DJ _M.E.D 05 at Instagram. If I'm going somewhere, I post it and I'll let the people know. But you can always feel free to tap into my Mixcloud as well. Like they said, they'll post a link to the Thank You Hip Hop mix, and you'll be able to listen to other mixes that are on there as well.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Off the hook, Cinderella about to lose the glass off her foot. And when I find it, it's when I find you. And we can do the things we never got the time to. Better late than never, but never late is better. They tell me time is money, but we'll spend it together. I'm down for whatever, you just lead the way. We go to dinner, y'all don't even look at me to pay. Mature women with more than me were the first to tempt me. And Jason had this girl Tammy with a purple Bentley. How she got it, I ain't never get to ask. I just knew that she was fine, like a ticket on the dash. Yeah, but shout out to the homeowners, the girls that got diplomas and enough money to loan us a little something extra, should we ever need it. If it sounds like you, then let me hear you repeat it. Oh, you fancy, huh? Oh, you fancy, huh? Oh, you fancy, huh? Oh, you fancy, huh? Nail done, hair done, everything big. Let the nails done, hair done, everything big. Oh, you fancy, huh? Oh, you fancy, huh? Oh, you fancy, huh? Oh, you fancy, huh? Nail done, hair done, everything big. Let the nails done, hair done, everything big. Oh, you fancy, huh?
He's a fucking genius.
It's great workday vibes. Like, you literally can just
put it on and do your thing. Like or Saturday morning clean up. I'm trying to tell you, like, when you trying to just do your thing, you're gonna take a lot longer to clean up because you're gonna be dancing, you're gonna be doing your thing, you're gonna be stopping, leaning against the wall, thinking about some shit.
Like, what?
I was getting killed in the game because I was listening to this music, like, dang, like, what was I?
Like, baby,
what was I doing at this time? Like, it was just like that. When that Anne Marie hit, that this what this like, I like, it got me going, man. It got me going. But
oh my goodness.
But yeah, man, like I said, we appreciate you a lot, man, coming on to the channel, man. Like I said, it's it's been a long time coming. I really wanted to give you your flowers and really, you know what I'm saying, say those things about you regardless of, you know, anything, distance, time, you know what I'm saying? Like you pulled up for me in a lot of different ways, man. Like I said, I just want to say hats off to you, man. And yeah, keep doing your thing.
Yes.
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you, Pisces.
It's so nice to meet you.
Yeah, hope to meet you in
I
the
know,
future.
right?
Oh,
Like
for sure.
in person.
Oh yeah, we definitely
Yeah.
when we in the DMV, you already know what it is. But yeah, thank y'all so much for tapping.
Apparently, like, are we signing off?
No, go ahead. Say what you gonna say.
Apparently, like, your city is like the number one city for us, like for our
That was on that list. I mean,
requirements that we curated.
But yeah, but we'll talk about that more in the messages for sure. But yeah, thank y'all so much for tapping in. Super dope interview. As you already know, this is Clued Don Pisces. Find me on Instagram, KLUEDADON _.
And you can find me on all of the things at PISCESPRNSS.
Already, we're a fan makes a fan, Country Fan Meal Podcast. We out.
Bye.
What's up, everybody? What's going on, y'all? It's your man, Fat.
How's it going, everybody? This is Gordon Paul, and you're tapping into
Straight back to the Country Fan Mail Podcast.